Okie dokie. Good morning. This is the next day. And look at that starter. And it's dropped. This morning it was bulging the lid in the top. It was so full. And if you look, right there's my mark where we fed it the second time. Right there. So it's pretty much doubled. I believe it would have doubled or more if it had been a bigger jar. I'm just glad I took it out of that pint jar that we had it in yesterday and put it into here. So anyways, next step, what we're going to do. This is what you want when you're ready to start baking with it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull off my one cup of starter. We're going to refeed this, and then it goes in the refrigerator to sleep until next time. And then, like I said a little earlier in the video, when you get ready to bake with your starter, bring it out a day ahead of time, feed it, and then the second day feed it. And when it rises like that, your first day, when you bring it out of the refrigerator, sometimes it'll rise like this. Sometimes it'll double right up. Other times you'll just get a few bubbles. It may rise a little bit. Take some out, feed it again until you get a good active rise like this. So you may want to take it out a day, maybe 2 days ahead of time. You'll have to see how it acts at your house, because everybody's house is different. Temperature, humidity, weather, you know, there's so much makes a difference. So anyways, what we're going to do is take this. If you look inside, you can see that it has risen, bubbled. Actually, I see marks right up there at the top. Well, let's see. Yeah, you can see it up there, that ring around the top. That's where she rose up to. So anyways, we punch it down again. Mix it up good. Tell it, very good job, Miss Homestead. Homestead, well, that's kind of my other starter's name, so I'll call this one Miss Homestead. Miss and Mr. Homestead, how's that? Alright. We got her mixed up real good. And let's see, if you could see through there, it's back down to where we started. So let's pull off that 1 cup. There we go. There's my cup of starter for our recipe. We'll put that aside. Now we're going to feed this and put it away, put it to bed. It's had a hard few days here, going from dehydrated in a package to, woohoo, we're baking our first loaf of bread. Now what I'm also going to do today, if any of you have watched the other video about the gluten-free bread, I had 2 recipes in there. The first recipe was the one that I baked in that, which was the buckwheat, using buckwheat flour and coconut flour and all that. Well, this one, we're going to do just the rice flour, the other recipe. Now if you look, we are just below, I don't know if you can see it, just below that mark on there. So we're going to do just like we did yesterday. Yesterday I had my 1/8 cup spoon. We put 1, 2.5 in there, and that's the sorghum. And then we put 1, 2.5 of the rice flour. All right. Now we'll mix that up. We've got our water, 90 to 100 degrees, of course. Get a little in there to get her started. And when you take it out of the refrigerator, you let it set, warm up just a little bit. Sometimes, depends how when you put it in the refrigerator from when it starts. Sometimes you'll get a rise right away, other times it'll just sit there. So if it just sits there, take a little off and then feed it. And then watch the growth. If it doubles up like that, man, you're ready to bake. If it just bubbles a little bit and shows some activity, take a little off, feed it again. The second time through, almost guaranteed, is going to give you a double up or even more rise out of your starter. That's when you want it to bake. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. We've got that thick paste. Like I said, that's using the rice flour and sorghum flour. Okay, clean the sides of the jar off so you can see what's happening. Alright, and then, like I said, you want to set this off to the side for a little while. Let it start to activate. Let it bubble a little bit. Once you see that it's starting to work, that's when it's time to put it in the refrigerator. Because it's, until it cools down to the point that it really goes to sleep, it will continue working. So what you don't want to do is let it go all the way and then deal with it. So there we go. We are right there. You can see on the lines. Not quite as much as we had the day before, but we started a little lower too. So anyways, that's done. We'll put this off to the side. And like I said, once it starts, you start seeing the bubbles show up in here. You're saying, oh, it's active. Go put it in the refrigerator. About a week, week and a half. If you don't bake with it in a week, week and a half, take it out, let it warm up, feed it, take a little off, feed it a little bit, let it get active, and then put it back in the refrigerator. That'll just keep it fresh. So anyways, from there, I'm going to call this quits on this video because by now you've got active starter. And I'm going to start using that starter that we just pulled off over there. This one. And we're going to bake, actually I'm going to bake the mini loaves today. Those little loaves. Which is really handy because, like I said, a lot of people gluten-free don't eat a lot of bread anyways. This makes it nice. Alright, so Miss Homestead is going over there. So we shall see you on the next video here as we bake the bread. Alright, hello. Well, today we're finishing up. I just did the starter, and this is my cup of starter from the dehydrated starter that we started. Anyways, we're going to make the rice flour bread, gluten-free. Start off with the scale, and we start adding the ingredients, which I'll have the ingredients in the description below, you know, like everybody does always. Alright, first thing we want, 113 grams of rice flour. And this is brown rice flour. I suppose regular white rice flour would work too. Whoops. There we go, 113. Then the cornstarch. That is 131, which I reset. Whoops. The last shake did it. Alright, 131. And tapioca flour is 113. Hope I got enough. Should have filled it. Now it says 100, so we're going to call that close enough for this batch. Okay, Xanthium Gum. It's 10 grams. There we go. Salt is 12 grams. And baking powder is 12 grams. Let me zero that again. Whoops. All right. All right, that's all your dry ingredients. Take that, mix them up. And to that, 3 eggs. And I'm using coconut oil today. So this is, and I pre-melted it. That's 28 grams. And at the suggestion of someone who claims that if you add apple cider vinegar or vinegar to your starter, they do that just to make it taste sour. Not true, but okay, I'm going to leave the apple cider vinegar out of this. Alright, from there, I mix that. what you're looking for is that crumbly dough. And you don't have to melt the oil. It can be done, but it needs to be soft enough that it does the same thing. So, now to that mixture, we start adding our wet ingredients, or the other wet, which includes not an eggshell. I missed that one somehow. Alright, we put our starter in there. Which is 1 cup. And if you've watched the other video, you heard me say that the flour that you use will absorb water differently. So I add about a cup to start with. And then I mix and see what it's like. And as you see, it's thick. So we'll put some more in. You can see that dough climbing up the mixer blades. Means it's a little too thick yet. So we'll put a little more water in. I think just a little bit more. Alright, so that one we've got about 2 1/4 cups so far. Like I say, you want it so that the dough will climb. I mean, that's just the way it works on a mixer, but you don't want it to come all the way up to the mixer bottom. Okay, looks pretty good. Now what you want to do, 7 minutes of mixing like that. And then you switch it from the low speed and go a little higher and higher, and you in that 7 minutes time, so that it aerates it real good and mixes everything up good. So, here we go. Okay, there's our time. Seven minutes. And we have a nice creamy batter. About like a really fluffy cake batter. Alright, now, since I have these 4 little baking pans I'm going to use, I am going to weigh this thing so I get an even amount. Alright, sure. 1765. And on the bottom of all my pans, which you can't probably see, but yeah, there it is. I write down what the weight is so I don't have to turn it upside down. Well, you know, which is 381. So that gives us a total of 1,384 grams of starter. And we want to divide that by the 4 pans, which gives us a total of 346 grams. So we zero that out. And I know that it never comes out the same, not at 346, so we'll put 340 in each one and divide up anything that might be left. Because it always ends up short for some silly reason, I don't know why. There's 304, 323, 341. I guess that's close enough. There's 340. Oh, that one went to 353. 344. We'll call that close. And then the last one. See, that one's got 320. Probably get a few more grams out of there, but that's about it. All right, 338. Alrighty, now settle them down to make them even in the pan. Okay. Now to even them up, I wet the spoon and I can push it around a little bit. I kind of jiggle bounce it into the corners just to kind of make it even. Now these pans, they're called Chicago Metallic, and I'll tell you, they're the best little metal bread pan I've ever seen. You don't have to coat them, nothing. They're non-stick. They work well. The loaf practically jumps out of the pan at the end. And as you see, I'm just evening it out. So we don't have any low spots. Alright, and then I actually smooth it down with a fresh bit of water. There we go. Alright, so from here, cover it with plastic wrap. Let them set about 4 hours. As you see, now you can see about how high the difference is. In that 4 hours time, they'll come up right to the top of this. That's when we'll put them in the refrigerator for the night. So anyways, I'll bring you back in 4 hours. There we are, all wrapped and ready. Okay, it's been 4.5 hours. Time to go in the refrigerator. You can see how much they've risen. Okay, we're going to finish this up, finish baking them. I just took them out of the refrigerator. They've actually been there 24 hours. We'll see if that makes any difference at all. I don't know. I really don't know. So anyways, what we do, take the plastic wrap off, and you can see they're right there at the top. And also what I do is I want that crust to stay nice and moist as it bakes. What I also do is take a spray bottle. Yeah, if you can see it, there it is. Spray bottle, and I spray the tops down. Meanwhile, while I was getting ready, you get your oven warmed up, 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we've got them sprayed down, and then I take my razor blade and I slice the middle. Just like that. Alright, that's it. We'll stick them in the oven. Let me see if I can get an oven shot here as we do this. There we go. And somebody left the pan in there. Alright. And 2, 3, and 4. Alright, 375. And we're doing that for 50 minutes. Alright, we'll see you when they get done. Okay, we're done baking. It's been 50 minutes. Put the thermometer in there. And we're coming up on 200. I'm going right past it. We go about 205 right there, so we're going to call that done. And then I'm going to brush these tops. They are a little pale, but they are the rice flour. Brush these tops with some real butter. You can also do an egg wash. Of course, the egg wash, you should probably put it on before it's totally done, but that's okay. I like the butter. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to finish it up and call it quits, and then one last thing, I'll slice it open and show you what we got. Okay, these breads are cooled down. If you look at them, it's a nice loaf of bread, gluten-free. Got a great rise. I mean, from where they started in the pan, probably about there. So it's doubled on its rise. Alright, so I guess the moment of truth has come. Let's cut one of these open. See what she looks like, huh? What do you think? I'm not so good left-handed. There we go. Oh. There you are. Nice loaf of gluten-free.